Baerenthal is a commune in the Moselle department of the Alsace-Champagne-Ardenne-Lorraine administrative region in northeastern France. The village belongs to the Pays de Bitche and to the northern Vosges Regional Nature Park. Geography: the village is located in heavily wooded country, 15 kilometers from Bitche and 12 kilometers from Niederbronn, at the southeastern border of the canton of Bitche. It has a population of 750 and is located at an altitude of 240 meters in the lush green valley of the northern Zinsel River. History: when founded, during the age of the Franc Comté of the 8th to 10th centuries, Baerenthal was located in Nordgau, in Alsace. It was a part, during the Carolingian era, of the bishopric of Strasbourg, just at the border with the bishopric of Metz. The medieval period of the village is very rich thanks to the presence of the chateau of Château de Ramstein and Château de Herdansberg on its land. The nobles of Ramstein were cited for the first time in a document dated the 22nd of October 1291. The village of Baerenthal was mentioned later in 1318, under the name Baerenthal, in the valley of Barrow. Regarding secular power, Baerenthal was under the rule of Ramstein, and later, starting in 1355, under that of Falkenstein. After this began the sinister period of pillaging by robber knights for the Baerenthal unter Ramstein, and active sale dated 3 September 1467. Count Louis V of Lichtenberg became the owner of the southern half of the village as well as the chateau of Grand-Arnsberg, and in 1569 the Counts of Hanau-Lichtenberg became the owners of the whole village. The names of several regions of Baerenthal date back to this time. Reinhard Schorf, from the name of Burgrave Johann Reinhardt. Fischerhof, where fishermen lived. Rosselhof, where the noblemen's stables were located. Fronacker, where a great farm near the nobles' fields was located. Starting from 1480, Baerenthal passed through the hands of the Counts of Hanau-Lichtenberg and followed the fate. In 1606 milestones were placed which separated the Duchy of Lorraine and the County of Hanau-Lichtenberg from the hamlet of Melch to that of Banstein. In 1648, Baerenthal was a part of the Bailliage of Lemberg, near the Pirmessens dance locality in the Landgraviate of Hesse-Darmstadt. Its Landgrave, Louis VIII, was the son-in-law of Count Johann Reinhardt of Hanau-Lichtenberg and became his heir in 1786. In 1793, Baerenthal, as well as the neighboring territory of Philipsburg in the canton of Bitche, were detached from Alsace and became part of the district of the Moselle. It was the convention that made this decision during the French Revolution. In the 18th century, the northern Zinsel River was used to supply the factories and ironworks that brought work and life in the valley. In 1745, the first factory was built in Baerenthal. It was an armament factory and grew rapidly. A second factory was built to transform the ore coming from Franche-Comté into cast iron and steel. With the creation in 1807 of a steel mill, a cast iron works and sheetworks factories, industry grew along the length of the Zinselbach. This activity reached a peak in the middle of the 19th century, but slowed down at the beginning of the 20th century. In 1932 the last factory closed. The rest stop in the village was taken by the Chasseurs-Lorraine and destroyed during the Second World War. Reconstructed and again devoted to steel work, mechanics workshops were replaced by a factory producing tableware. Following the Imperial Ordinance of 2 September 1915, the name of the village was Germanized to Baerenthal and kept this name until the return of France in 1918. From 1940 to 1944, it was Germanized again, this time to Baerenthal Bei Bitche. Classified as a station de cœur de Baerenthal is an important tourist center of the northern Vosges. The village has been classified as a station verte since 1987. Economy. The Baerenthal company designs and produces solid steel tableware and silver-coated metal. In 2005, it was the second greatest producer of French tableware. Religion. Catholic in the Middle Ages, Baerenthal was part of the parish of Obersteinbach, of the Archbishopric of Haguenau in the Diocese of Strasbourg. In 1570, Count Philippe IV of Hanau-Lichtenberg brought the Reformation to the village and the Catholic religion was consequently suppressed. This explains the absence of crosses by the roads in and around Baerenthal, a characteristic of Catholic regions. For the few Catholics who joined this community, the territory became a part of the bishopric of Metz in 1802 and was annexed to the parish of Mauterhouse. The Chapel of the Immaculate Conception was constructed in 1885 in the northern part of the village. Protestant. After the village embraced the Reformation, the church changed to Protestantism. The Protestant church was restored in 1630. The village has been a Protestant district since 1739. Population. The population has varied considerably, from 660 inhabitants in 1817 to 1683 in 1852, and then falling to 694 in 1982. Neighboring communes. Neighboring communes, which consist of only a few houses, are relatively numerous. Betterley from 1840, Bridal from 1841. The region at the beginning of the 20th century, Daxhof, bringing the nobility of Falkenstein, and constructed around 1740, Ulenkhof around 1845, Fischerhof at the beginning of the 17th century. Fronacker probably after 1770, Thalhausen around the end of the 18th century, Schmielenthal from the beginning of the 19th century, and Temuldal around 1720. In 1150, the Landgrave Dietrich ceded the Abbey of Neuweiler, which gave its fief to the Abbey of Neuburg. The village of Muhlenbach, which belonged to the nobility of Groß-Arnsberg, and then to that of Falkenstein, was finally reunited with the village of Lemberg in 1332. The assorted hamlets of Liementalerhof, Rothenbräunerhof, Sasselbach, Scharfneckerhof and Wiesenlegerhof were mentioned in 1798. The unique house which was the basis of the small village of Krotowasen was bought by the Administration of Waters and Forests and, in 1887, was transformed to a forestry house, taking the name of Schwarzenberg. Sites. Château de Grand-Arnsberg, constructed at the beginning of the 12th century to protect the imperial city of Haguenau. Château de Ramstein, constructed in the 13th century by the Falkenstein nobility. The Church of St. Catherine, transformed into a Protestant church in 1571 and reconstructed in the 17th century. The marker milestone near Schmielenthal, dated from 1605. Delimits the old borders of the county of Bitche. The Calvary near Fronacker, dated from 1790. The tomb of Philippe Hertz, an ironworker from Mauterhouse, dated from 1868. The Chapel of the Immaculate Conception, built at the end of the 19th century, which is a place of pilgrimage every May. The bird observation post, the best place to discover the fauna of the northern Vosges. Situated on the main road, the farm is composed of two buildings. The home, gabled on the road, dated 1770 on the door of the cellar, and the farm itself, dated 1753, developed in breadth behind the courtyard. Exceptional in the Pays de Bitche, the farm resembles the Alsatian building style. One can see this by the separation between buildings on the farm and by the porch roof superimposed on the main, front face of the building. The difference to the Alsatian style is that the pan de bois is relegated in the second part, while the house is constructed with stone and a mix of rough cast lime. Coat of arms. The arms of this village are a black bear, passant silver, chapeau ployé of gold to the star of Dexter Gills. These are the arms of the Ramstein family, the nobles of the village in the Middle Ages, who took the name from the old chateau of Ramstein. The bear on the arms is taken from the name of the community, namely, the Valley of Bears, Baerenthal, in German. Personalities. Jean-Guillaume Goldenberg, overseer of the ironworks.